Let's look a bit at Rusty and the congregation. And let me put it in terms of a label that I was partly responsible for putting onto Sunday, the 30th of July, 2004, which we labeled Bombshell Sunday. And it was so called because of the controversy that arose because of the fact that Rusty had allowed, under his supervision, very young people to distribute communion. And there was considerable controversy over that. Now, I think having the emotions cooled down by this time, let us now say you are a duly ordained priest, you are a theologian, and you are now a doctor of the church. Could you give us your thinking, not in terms of the spontaneity of the situation, but in the general idea of young people serving communion here?
The church says when people are baptized, they are entitled to all the rights and privileges of the church. I don't even hold to that particularly. I don't think that people need to be baptized in order to receive communion. They don't even need to be Christian. They don't need to be Christian in order to do anything in the church. I think there just have to be people of goodwill. And that's got me in some trouble along the way, certainly. But in this particular case, there were young people who were 4 and 6 and 9 who were giving out communion under my supervision. I mean, I was holding the cup with Mark, David's son, and with Gracie, and Lisa was handing out the bread. And it didn't happen every Sunday, but it did happen on one Sunday, and this caused great consternation for many people. But my response to that is, if we tell people that they are, from the moment they're baptized, that they're eligible to all the rights and privileges of the church, then we can pick and choose which ones they're going to be eligible for. We have to say, if that's what we say, then they have to be able to do anything. And if we can let other people in the church who are adults do it, it should not be, there's no age requirement. In fact, the Roman Catholic Church now has come to the point where they are getting young people, particularly of ages 10, 11, 12, to serve communion, realizing that if they don't keep them involved now, then they won't be able to keep them involved later on. You gotta get young people involved now, and that's always been my idea. I particularly have a particular fondness for having young people be involved in service, because Irene and Corinne and Joanne, and that's about it. Those are the people that were here, have been here the longest, maybe Judy and Peter after that, know that there was a time we had no children here, none. And we would sit around saying, how are we going to get young people to come to the church? And then the minute they come and say, well, you can't do anything, it just seemed to me to be hypocritical. And so I feel very strongly, and there's nothing theologically wrong with it. You know, we're not going to, this is the body and blood of, or the Paschal meal, the meal of friends, that, you know, Jesus celebrated with his friends who were married and had children. He wasn't going to keep the children away. And in fact, when they tried to keep the children away, he got really angry at his disciples and said, let these children come to me. And so I, every Sunday, make a point to say, we invite everyone to come forth to communion this morning. We believe that a person should never be able to remember a time when they were not welcome at God's table. And I mean that never, especially young children, I say. So we invite everyone, regardless of their denominational background, their faith, or their lack of it, to come forward and join with us in this community meal. That means everyone. And if anybody can get up there and serve communion with me, any older person, anyone who's older than 21, I don't see why any person who's younger than 21 can't do it either. There's no theological reason to forbid it. In fact, I think, since we are told that we have to be like little children in order to come to God's beloved community, the kingdom of God, that we should have children doing up there serving it every week. That's what I think.